In the harsh world of maximum security prisons, respect is earned through violence and intimidation. But when a 14-year-old boy walked through those heavy steel doors, no one could have predicted how he would turn the prison hierarchy upside down. This is the tale of Jason, a teenager who became so notorious that even veteran inmates with decades of prison time learned to stay out of his way. Growing up in the harsh streets of Detroit, Jason's childhood was far from normal. Born into a family ravaged by drug addiction and violence, he learned to survive by any means necessary before he could even ride a bike. By age 8, he was already known to local law enforcement. But unlike other troubled kids who might shoplift or skip school, Jason's crimes were different. They were calculated, cold, and showed a level of violence that shocked even veteran police officers. Detective Michael Harris, who first encountered Jason at age 10, recalls, "In all my years on the force, I've never seen a child with such dead eyes. It was like looking at an adult killer trapped in a kid's body." Jason's first serious arrest came at age 12, when he orchestrated a brutal attack on a local store owner. What made this case different wasn't just the violence. It was how he manipulated 5 older teenagers into doing his bidding. The store owner survived, but was left permanently disabled. He didn't just participate in the attack, says prosecutor Sarah Matthews. He orchestrated it. He stood there, calmly giving orders while others did the violent work. That's not normal behavior for any 12-year-old. The incident that finally landed Jason in adult prison happened just 2 years later. At 14, he was arrested for a series of calculated attacks that left 3 rival gang members critically injured. But it wasn't just the attacks that concerned authorities, it was his behavior afterward. During his arrest, Jason showed no emotion. Instead, he calmly explained to officers how he could have made the attacks more efficient. His psychological evaluation revealed something that would change everything. This wasn't a troubled teen acting out. This was something far more dangerous. The court's decision to place him in an adult facility was controversial, but they felt they had no choice. Juvenile detention centers had proven inadequate. Jason had already established control over other young offenders, creating what one guard described as his own personal army. But what happened next inside the adult prison would shock everyone. Within his first week at a maximum security facility, Jason had already shown that his age wouldn't make him an easy target. During his first day in general population, a seasoned inmate tried to establish dominance, a common practice with new prisoners. What happened next would become prison legend. "I've been a corrections officer for 22 years, says Officer James Rodriguez, and I've never seen anything like it. This kid, barely bigger than my own son, took down a man twice his size without even raising his voice. It wasn't just a physical act, it was the calculated way he did it, making sure everyone in the yard could see. But it wasn't just physical confrontations that made Jason feared. He had an uncanny ability to manipulate the prison's complex social dynamics. He could spot weaknesses in both inmates and guards, using this information to build a network of influence that extended far beyond his cell block." Former inmate Marcus Williams, who served time with Jason, describes the atmosphere. "Look, I've done 3 decades behind bars. I've seen every kind of tough guy you can imagine. But this kid, he was different. He didn't need to be the biggest or the strongest. He could read people like books, and he never forgot a single detail he could use later." One particular incident cemented Jason's reputation as the most feared inmate. During a prison riot in 2024, while other inmates were causing chaos, Jason calmly walked through the mayhem untouched. Witnesses say even the most violent offenders stepped aside when they saw him coming. "It wasn't what he did during the riot," explains prison psychologist Dr. Emily Chen. "It was what he didn't do. In a situation where everyone else lost control, he maintained perfect composure. That level of emotional control in a teenager is not just unusual, it's unprecedented in my experience." The prison staff soon learned that traditional disciplinary measures had little effect on Jason. Solitary confinement, typically used to break difficult inmates, seemed to have no impact on his behavior. If anything, he emerged more focused and calculating each time. Today, Jason's influence extends beyond just intimidation. He's created an intricate system within the prison walls, where even the most hardened criminals seek his approval before making moves. Guards have reported that entire cell blocks go quiet when he walks by, not out of respect, but pure fear. What makes him truly dangerous, explains criminal psychologist Dr. Sarah Martinez, is his intelligence combined with his complete lack of normal emotional development. He can understand people's fears and motivations perfectly, but he doesn't feel any empathy. At his age, this is extremely rare and concerning. Recent incidents have only added to his notorious reputation. In March 2024, a new inmate, a former gang leader known for his brutality, challenged Jason's authority. Within 48 hours, the man requested protective custody, refusing to explain why. When asked about the incident, he only said, "That kid ain't right. He ain't human." Prison officials face an unprecedented challenge. They're dealing with someone who has the mind of a master manipulator, but a legal status of a minor. Traditional rehabilitation programs aren't designed for cases like this, and typical prison dynamics don't apply. The most disturbing part, says prison counselor Mark Thompson, is that he's still learning and adapting. Most inmates develop a pattern, but Jason keeps evolving. Every time we think we understand his capabilities, he reveals another layer. The question that haunts both law enforcement and mental health professionals is, what happens when Jason turns 18? With his current sentence extending well into his adult years and his influence growing stronger each day, the prison system faces an unprecedented challenge. Former FBI behavioral analyst Lisa Crawford puts it bluntly: we're watching the development of something we've never seen before. A teenager who has managed to psychologically dominate one of America's toughest prisons. The implications are, frankly, terrifying. As the sun sets on another day at the maximum security facility, the guards change shifts and the cells are locked down for the night. But in one cell, a teenager sits reading, calmly planning his next move. While other inmates his age are worried about high school and dating, Jason continues to build his reputation as the most feared inmate in the U.S. prison system. What do you think about juveniles being placed in adult prisons? Should the system be changed to handle unique cases like Jason's? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel.